Hello, hello. We are live. I'm alive.
Hanging in there.
Hi, Paula. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, guys.
We are, we are chill. We are chilled, but not in the best sense of the word.
Yeah, we're on the slope of cold weather and kind of hibernating in the end of the Aquarian cycle here.
Well, Aquarius is always a super cold time, and now
Yeah,
Pluto's in Aquarius for 19 years. Um, yeah. So,
yeah.
and what was I going to say? Um,
And Mercury moved into Pisces yesterday, and we had a record flood in the northern suburbs Valentine's Day, where the lake opened up and went west into this Skokie area
oh
where
no.
there's a lot. It was like the streets were flooded, cars like they have to boil water for days. I'm gonna take care of this.
Okay, yeah, go right ahead. I'll while you're doing that, I'll say hi to everyone. Hi everyone. Well, that was fast. No, just kidding. Let's see. Um Catherine Mickelson. Hi. How you doing, dear? How you doing, Kathy? Christine. Um Steph. Hi, Steph. Sage, the Scales Tarot. Yeah, yeah. Laura, innocent potato. You say potato and I say potato. Or in Massachusetts, in the south of Boston, they say potato. That's how they say potato here. Galactic Gale, Aline, Sandra, Kathy, Christine. Looks
Okay.
like Equus 3333. Hello, Antoinette's granddaughter. Hi, everyone. Great to have you tonight. I hope it's warm and cozy where you are. We're getting snow here. I went up to the house for like, I don't know, a half hour, and then I came out and everything was covered with white already. So I don't not exactly sure how much snow we're gonna get, but it's supposed to turn to rain at some point. We'll see. We don't know. I don't know.
We've got a snow forecast and then a deep freeze.
I
And
think
then
that
spring.
hell froze over and somebody left the door open. That's what I think.
It's every winter is so unique that you kind of just be ready to be ready for anything. There were winters in the past where I wore my coat twice the whole winter.
Yeah. Yeah. Not this. I don't think I've had less than 2 layers on at all times in the house yet this winter.
Well,
I mean, it was that.
inside's
Yeah.
rough. Yeah, that's different here. I boil. It's boiling inside. I had the window open a little bit today and yesterday because I need circulation.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I live in a really old house, so we have plenty of circulation, even when we don't want it.
I need air.
Even when we don't want it. All right. So a pretty interesting week. Um, a pretty interesting week, right? We had when was that full moon? When did that happen?
The
How
full
long
moon was on Wednesday morning.
doesn't
It was Wednesday
doesn't
morning.
it seem like every day is like 10 years or something? I don't know how else to explain it. And by the end of the day, I feel like I've been awake for 10 years. I'm like, I like fall into the bed. I'm like,
Yeah. I don't feel like the days are dragging long.
I don't feel like they're long. I feel like so much is happening in the space of a day that it feels like 10 years. Like the stuff
Yeah.
that happens in a day now used to take like a week. And before that, it used to take 2. And before that, it used to take a year. And sometimes it took 10 years. But no, we are, we're like, that reminds me of that picture of, was it Jaeger who broke the sound barrier? Where he's in that thing and his cheeks are like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like. And I wake up and my hair's doing this and I'm like, what spaceship was I on last night? It's just
Somebody said, where was it that I see? I feel like I've lost 10 years of my life since November. Stress can age you. So,
yeah,
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 sorry
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, I've been like debating like what what do I need to do? Where do I need to put my energy that's gonna be the best place to put it, right?
Yeah,
So I try not to pay attention to too much stuff
yeah,
because it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse before it gets better. It will get better, but we're just the fan is on high and the effluence is flowing. It's just
yeah.
yeah,
It's really interesting. I think it's okay to sort of pick and choose and just I've been only been able to focus on one story or one character a day. I can't pick up on, and I will even scroll through, like a bunch of left, Occupy Democrats, everything, and just tease out pieces of the one story I want to follow
yeah.
because there are too many, and that is what they're trying to do is make it kind of overwhelming.
Right, right, right.
So the Elon toddler X
Little X,
story
mini X.
was
What is his name? Xet? What?
X, just
I
baby X.
Oh, it's baby X.
Yes, that was just poetic for me.
Yeah.
It's like a little kid went in there and said exactly what all of us have been wanting to say for you're not the president, you need to go now,
Hmm.
right? You need to shut up and wipe the booger all over the desk. I'm like, this kid is brilliant. This is brilliant. And it just, that's the one story I wanted to just pull out of different feeds and entertain myself with
Yeah,
today on a Saturday.
yeah. And when I saw it, I thought to myself, well, out of the mouth of babes, huh? Right? He could have even been channeling somebody, like, oh, I don't know, Lincoln or somebody. You know what I
It
mean?
has a beginning and it has an end. Every other story only offers you unpredictability and fear. It's
Yeah,
unpredictable. So that's what I'm not going to tap into that. I want a story that has an ending that I could laugh to at the end of the day and not something that's unpredictable that will make me look for an outcome or try and figure something out.
yeah. So as always, I picked a Mystic Sister card, and as I was shuffling, one fell to the ground. So as we say in Wicca, what falls to the floor comes to the door. And good, yes, you are. Hecate,
Yep.
goddess of the crossroads. Okay, so this is what it says. Now this is for the week ahead, guys. So let's try to get in the let's get zen. All right. Turning point. Hecate is an ancient triple goddess, a maiden, a mother, and a crone. She is the guardian of the crossroads and the goddess of transitions. She is able to see through the veil of time and determine your fate. She requires you to make a conscious and independent choice. You have come to a crossroads and a decision must be made. Weigh your options carefully and project the likely outcomes as accurately as you can before taking action. Seek the wisdom of others around you, both older and younger, and gain a fuller perspective of the possibilities.
Yep.
When we are standing at a threshold, it is difficult to see the complete reality of where we are heading. Faith is required. Faith is required.
The sun will move into Pisces and tell you exactly how that's all going to work out.
I'm not
Right?
sure, but well, a lot of well, all I can say about all the Pisces energy that we're moving into, including well, not till the end of next month, but Neptune is moving into Aries, so it's moving out of Pisces.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of March has a lot of Pisces, a lot of Pisces. And the only thing I can say is that there's going to be a flood somewhere, which is kind of not really a, I mean, that's pretty easy to say.
And these are things that happen typically, when it's really cold in the northern hemisphere and your pipes, and all of a sudden it's warm outside and the metal does what metal does. It expands, old pipes crack. There's flooding everywhere.
Yeah. The
Everywhere.
other thing that happens here is that if it's very, very cold, the grounds, and then it rains, the ground doesn't absorb the water because it's kind of frozen.
Right.
And then that creates issues. So
Do you have like bedrock or cave? What's your sub?
granite, we're on a ledge. We're on a granite ledge here.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of giant, not in my yard, but like just like when they tear up the street, giant boulders come out of it. It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I
Yeah.
think I'm on a bed of silt, honestly.
Yeah. Well, you might be.
I
You
think
might,
so.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of cities are, well, you're right by the water too, but a lot of cities do that. They fill, that's how Boston, Boston, if you ever drive in Boston, if you're crazy enough, all the neighborhoods are like weird. You like in some cities, you go down one street, you make a turn, then you come up the other way. In Boston, it's not like it's like right, left, right, and then you're in another section of the city
Yeah.
because they built it up. It was like almost like little islands, and then they had to like fill it all in. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
We have
pretty,
a simple grid. Our system is a simple grid. We have a few streets that run on an angle, and Boston might be like a wagon wheel.
it is a wagon wheel. Yeah,
Yeah, keep it.
yeah.
You can keep it. Seriously, you can keep it.
You're gonna have to come visit. We're gonna have to do the wagon wheel together. It's a great city. It's a
Those are
great city.
rough.
So, so
Yes.
I think I've made a little bit of a decision on how best to move through this time. Is I'm gonna just only deal with the stuff I can deal with in front of me
Yeah.
and let the rest go. I mean, I can't. I feel like, and I feel we're we're awake already. We've been awake for a long time. We've
Mhm.
been seeing this come down the pike for a long time. But there are a lot of people who aren't, and it has to get bad enough for those people to finally say, what do you mean I can't, what do you mean I can't put granny in the nursing home because there's no money anymore for that? What do you mean I have to pay $500 for my insulin? I paid $27 last month. When that stuff starts coming down the pike, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we have to keep, and because of those
It's,
things, I think we really have to keep our sense of calm and really a lot of self-care, and hang around with the people who are going to vibrate at your level, because you don't want to be pulled down at this
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy to get there. It's easy to stay there. And then you kind of crave it,
Yes, that's the other problem.
right?
If you
Like,
get it, you get addicted.
I want to troll somebody now. Kind
Well, it's not so much as troll for me as it is like, what's the next terrible thing that's going to happen?
of, right.
It's like you get addicted to to catastrophe,
Yeah.
as opposed to catastrophobia. It's I don't know, seeking. It's like seeking drugs. It's like seeking catastrophe,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I that's
It's
that's that's
hard,
that's
but
my
yeah.
that's my decision today anyway.
I had a roommate in San Francisco that was like that, and it was so exhausting. That was the last roommate I ever had. And I think I was 26 years old at that time. It was just like chaos seeking, and I'm sure there's a name for it, but it drives you. And to just be able to kind of, do we have any like Super Bowl or anything happening this weekend that can like divert your attention to just, hone in on something that has a beginning, middle, and end.
Well, Super Bowl was last week, right?
Yes.
And the Orange Menace was there, so that wasn't very much fun for anybody, except
Well,
for the people who got to boo him, I guess.
yeah, and we didn't get to see any of that. Like I said, that
Right.
happened, but we're not going to hear
They're
it.
not going to show it to us. Yeah. Hi, Brittany. Good to see you. How's it? How's things going? You're in Pennsylvania, I think, right? If I'm remembering correctly, Brittany. I'm sure it's snowing there too.
Yes, Paula Z said the 50th anniversary of SNL. I was just talking to my cousin about that. Tonight is the music one, and tomorrow will be like the interviews, the entire cast thing. I am absolutely looking forward to it with like coffee, and I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yes, that something to look forward to. I love it.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to pick. I like that. That helps. It helps because between now and then, all it matters is that drive to know that you're going to enjoy, an episode of Mystic Sisters or whatever, but it helps to have that kind of goal.
Yeah.
And I call that self-care.
So Steph says there's an article in New York Times that shows how each senator voted for Trump's nominations. Democrats voted for them. Yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you also have to take into consideration, I'm not giving, this is not an excuse for them, but some of these Democrats are kind of in purplish districts, and Trump really does have, well, I mean, I don't know. They say he has 50% approval. I don't believe it. I think that's a load of horse manure. But, they have to, that's what's being said. So whether it's true, I don't know if any of it's true, honestly. I don't, the thing that I think has happened is that there's been so many lies, and then so much of this, like, for a while now, I felt like they, both sides, but the Democrats too, were catastrophizing everything, giving all their energy to Trump. And now here he is, he's in. So it's always been about him. It's like, I'm tired of him. Let's not talk about him. But that's where the money is. So I guess that's what's happening. But yeah, it's there's no excuse, I guess. But I'm open to change. I'm open to give RFK a chance and
Yeah.
a chance. And
I'm
I'm really concerned about Patel, but he'll probably get in too.
concerned about all of them. None of them look good. Hegseth is
Yeah, I'm
already
not that
thinking publicly and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, well, that's kind of, makes sense. It's going to fall. It's going to crumble. It's not designed under a well thought out, vetted business plan. Okay. And focusing on on everything that's going to like just turn over and be horrible right now, honestly, isn't going to help. And I don't believe jack shit about what I see in polls, on print. Nothing is fact checked. Everything is, shopped and edited and AI'd. I believe what my heart tells me.
Well, and that's the thing. I think that's what this is about. I think we have to trust our own intuition. We have to trust our own heart. We have to really trust our own bodies in a way, because that's what's going to give us the information. That's going to give us the information. Run it through your filters. Run it through your body filters when something comes up, if you need to.
Yeah.
The mind becomes a trap, and that's a trap I don't want to be in. I would rather be in the expanse of my heart than the prison of my mind.
Yeah, there's a lot of crap going on that's really heartbreaking. I think focusing on what you can do locally, as local can get, to support what you believe in, is you could find it. I know you can.
Yeah.
Right. This is going to be an interesting week coming up because I think they have the thing open. I usually do this in the morning, but when there's movement in the sun and Mercury just moved into Pisces and stuff like that, I feel it's that sort of portal energy.
Well, the interesting thing about the whole Pisces Aries energy is that there's so many things going back and forth over that cusp.
Yeah.
Now, Pisces is cosmic consciousness.
Yeah.
It's potential, the potential of everything, right? And then Aries is Aries sort of comes up and emerges consciousness. Once I think Neptune goes into Aries and then Saturn goes into Aries a little later this year, we're going to get a taste of what 2026 can be like. Then it's going to go back into Pisces and finish up, and then at the beginning of the year in February they can join. And that's really we have about a year, I think, for us to come to terms with what type of life consciousness experiences we want to experience,
Yeah.
because I we have to understand that we have the power of co-creation. But if we're getting distracted by all this BS, then we're not putting our energy where it's best served.
Yeah. People, it's also Neptune at the last degrees of Pisces. Do we tune into a higher octave of our intuitive knowing or lower the energy of delusion without boundaries? Yeah, Mary, you definitely raised that's what it means, right? Just what you said, Vicky. Tuning into your body. What are the things? I've been this having a lot of overwhelming tastes, like a little bit of salt tastes like a lot of salt, that kind of thing, just overpowering kind of stuff.
Hmm.
That's what this week has been like. And I don't know, it's different all the time. I don't know what that's all about. I need to go.
I've had a pretty I've kept busy this week. I mean, I had to. It's not like I'm making stuff up. You know what I mean? I have to do stuff.
Yeah, I have to go grow innocent potatoes. I'm looking forward to my grocery trip. I'll definitely be buying Canadian maple syrup and Bootman cookies too. Yeah, and Vermont maple syrup. I can't afford maple syrup.
Oh, oh no.
The stuff that you guys get is not what they charge here.
Oh, well then you have friends in New England, darling. You just have to say something, baby. We'll get you some good maple syrup down your way.
I hear there's places that have so much that they have just a donation thing.
I haven't been there yet. I haven't found that. That's pretty expensive, but it's worth every penny. I mean, there's no point in.
I think I have some that I've had since before I moved here.
Baby X is smarter than Trump.
Oh, for sure.
That's a great bumper sticker, says Sage. Yeah, it is, isn't it, though?
What's a great bumper sticker?
The child's name is X, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it is. Yeah, I think it's X. He is kind of cute, though. I mean, boogers and all.
Adorable.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what they say? People who attract children and animals are good people. People. And then there's the other people.
It's just adorable because there's Donald, who came from a generation where kids were told to, never be heard or seen or, shut up, that. This kid had just this free speech thing going on. It must have just blown him away, honestly. And the boogers. Oh, that was the best part.
The best part was the boogers. Yeah, because that was the part that's I got to sit and listen to this little piece that X, and then he's going to share his book. Can you
Wow.
imagine how they had to clean that Resolute desk after that before he'd sit there again? It was so bizarre. I didn't listen to the only thing I listened was the little kid saying, "You're not the president. You got to leave."
Everything else was just a spin. They were just trying to spin. Honestly, if you try to tune into what they were saying or what Elon was saying, you were watching the kid and it was a distraction. Everything was a distraction. That's why it's just the one little piece of the story that was funny and used as a distraction. And while he's just verbally vomiting on stage, right, was good. That was perfect. I don't know what he said. I don't fucking care. Oops.
I think it's okay. We can curse. I think Johnny once said you can't say bad things for the first 8 minutes. So I think we were okay.
Okay.
I
Thank
think
you.
I'll go with Johnny. I'll go with what Johnny says. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sorry. My channel, I'd be okay, but that's something I need permission for when I'm guested out there.
Well, it's okay. It's Mystic Sisters. They got to expect a little cursing. I mean, geez Louise.
Potato said, then Donald is such a germaphobe. That's why was just so poetic to me that it happened that way. Yes,
Yeah.
he's a germaphobe.
So the full moon, we just had the full moon. That was pretty intense.
Yes.
The interesting thing about that full moon, I did a little thing on it in the morning of the full moon, is that it was the sun was in Aquarius and the moon was in Leo, and it was in a tight square to Uranus. But
Yes.
back in August, the first day of the Democratic National Convention, we had the sun in Leo, we had the moon in Aquarius, and we had Uranus in a tight square to it. It was the same thing, only the sun and moon were
Yeah.
reversed. Yeah. So it was intense like that, and we're moving into eclipse season. March is eclipse season, so we can expect more unexpected things. And I think it's happening right around the time. Does anybody know when they're supposed to get the budget done by? The date is it the 15th? Because that's when Mercury goes retrograde. So that should be no problem, right? Coming to a decision with Mercury retrograde
Yeah.
in let's see, it's in Aries, I think. Aries. So, and Venus retrograde. Venus rules money. That'll be retrograde
She's
starting.
she's in Pisces right now.
She's in Pisces, yeah, but she's gonna move into Aries, and then on the 1st of March she goes retrograde,
Okay.
and then she moves back into Pisces. So she's gonna spend some of that retrograde in Pisces. But yeah, it's going to be confusing. Everything is going to be confusing. I think we just have to wait. We have to wait for the tsunami to pass. Honestly,
Yes.
all
Yes.
this talk of waves, we finally get a wave.
And there was a lot of activity around that full moon, Vicky, around the earthquakes and Greece and those kinds of things. And if you're following space stuff, images of Mars from James Webb, like explanations of things that are occurring out there, we're learning more and more about how everything is working.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And I think we are in the matrix. Honestly, I think that there is higher different vibrational beings or higher dimensional beings that are watching us. It's like we're a giant experiment.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. Yes, the Ides of March is a thing.
yeah, it is.
The Ides of March is a thing. And it's St. Patrick's Day around here. That's just another excuse to drink all weekend for $50 somewhere, I'm sure.
Oh, I don't think my liver could take it, honestly.
And these people really, I've seen this. It seems like a lot. Seems like a lot.
So Kathy says Pluto in Aquarius the next 20 years means power to the people.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, we'll have to suffer under this administration before we are all on the same page. I I agree with that, but I don't think we're gonna. I think we're all gonna have our own pages because one of the energies
Mhm.
of Aquarius is tribal, and so it's important that we find our tribes. The challenge is going to be uh, living with all the different tribes. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to. Although there is a theory that at whatever level you vibrate, you're not going to be aware of the others. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's a possibility as well. That's a possibility as well.
Mary Huddleston said St. Patrick was the. Oh, you'd think St. Patrick was the patron of drunks. Yeah, that's why they call the paddy wagons the paddy wagons, because all the Patricks would they'd put them in the wagon and they'd take them to the station. Though we had a big rush of a lot of really cool cultures come in, and one of them was Irish, and a lot of them became cops.
Right. Right. Yeah, that was a whole that was like a whole cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um but of course I'm a what am I? I'm a oh God, initiated. I'm an initiated witch, and of course St. Patrick was not, he drove the snakes out of Ireland. The snakes that they're talking about were the druids. And they cut down all the druid forests and stuff. So Patrick is not on my list of favorite saints, we'll say.
Right.
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 St. Francis of Assisi, I like him.
Yeah.
I like some of the female saints, but St. Patrick's never been my thing, honestly. Even though I'm Irish, at the time I didn't know, but now I know I do have some Irish blood.
We know that some of our favorites, or the people that we had grown up to admire, had some flaws, right? Some bad flaws. So, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah. So Galactic Gale says the Democrats have to stop voting for anything Trump wants. Well, tell that to Fetterman. Tell that one to Fetterman.
There's.
I guess we could blame it on his stroke.
I'm not making good choices. I don't know why people make the decisions that they do when we clearly see better or understand the concept on a different level. We don't know why people make those decisions, but as a general overarching thing, it's usually involves money, right?
You know what?
There were a lot of buyouts, and we get like 40,000 people that actually took the severance for like I'm
Yeah,
out
but
of
they're
here.
not going to get that money. They're not going to get no severance from him. He never pays what he says. Oh, I'll do this and that. Never. He never pays. You know what I think might happen? And this is an interest. This sort of rolled around in my head the other day. One of the things about Musk doing what he's doing is that people are now focused on Musk and not focused on 40 Felon 47.
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't it be just a thing for him to say, "Oh no, I didn't realize all the bad stuff he was going to do. And make Musk the bad guy. He
Yeah.
could put Musk in jail and then take all Musk's money because that's all he wants. He wants money, right? Why not just take Musk's money?"
No, clearly the person that was standing up was in charge, not the person sitting down.
I don't know. We'll see.
There's something that will always he'll always dangle over Donnie's head.
He could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and not go to jail. What could he dangle over Donnie's head?
That
What? That
maybe.
he's in cahoots with with Putin. That's pretty obvious. He's gonna give Ukraine to Putin and not allow them to be in NATO.
Maybe he helped him get elected.
Of course he did.
Okay.
But it
So
doesn't. But he's in power now. So who's? Well, you think Schumer's going to get on his white horse and
no, I'm just saying we know who's in power. We know why. That's clearly like sort of a blackmail thing. He's given him like complete range of everything, and he's not standing over it. It's it's just such a sick thing to witness. Honestly, the dog's going to start crying again.
maybe we should stop talking about it.
I'm going to hide from him. See if he won't see me. No, he went around. He saw me. I see you. I got you. Let's sit in my lap for a minute, buddy, because you know what? Come here. Come on.
Mary says, "Wow, I never made the connection about paddy wagons." See,
Yeah.
you learn something every time you come on to Mystic Sisters.
Yeah. I should start going to, I know in February, I don't know how long it's extended, but maybe I'll start on Tuesday, is going to museums, and because it's free for residents on Tuesdays in February, and go to the Chicago History Museum and pick up on some cool stuff. There's always a good place to visit on a free day. See,
So here's an interesting question. Brienne says Jupiter and Gemini until May. Do you see that culminating as brother against brother or coming together? I think Jupiter and Gemini has been the preponderance of propaganda. Is what I think. It's like an overexpression of all possibilities in every direction. Brother against brother. I think it all comes down to brother against brother. Isn't that what, even what's going on in the Middle East is brother against brother? They're, the Semites are the Jews and the Arabs. They're both Semitic, right? As I understand it. I think I looked that up just to check, make sure I said it right. But yeah.
So Jupiter moves into Cancer in May.
I think, is it May? I'll tell you in a second. It's either May or I thought it was July, but it could be May. Hold on, let me look here.
That's going to be interesting.
Well, Jupiter likes being in Cancer. It's exalted in Cancer, so that's a goodie. Jupiter.
Thanks, Galactic Gal. The dog is cool. He's fun. He's alive. He'll be 11 this year. Let me see if he'll sit on my lap properly.
Jupiter goes into Cancer on June 9th. June 9th. Yes, sorry. Did I mention that we're in that next month is eclipse season?
Yes.
I did mention that, right? Yeah. I did mention that. Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. We're in a 9-year anyway, so everything is up for evaluation this year. And then the other thing about the 9 is that this is the 9 of the year that began in 2017, which was when Trump got into office. So in a way, this year is a culmination of the seeds planted at that time. And then hopefully in 2020, I'll tell you who impresses me the most: Jasmine Crockett and AOC. Period. End of story. They are unbelievable.
Yeah.
AOC was knitting. She was on a train knitting, and she was telling people exactly what we tell people. Look, if you get overwhelmed, unplug, do something you like.
Yeah.
Get into your life. And and there are people like, how dare she knit? It's like, are you like, what's wrong with people? What,
Yeah.
get a life?
No,
Will
no,
you just
no.
get
That's
a
he's
life?
right. Yeah. I'm not gonna subscribe to like people are gonna bash her because she's knitting or playing softball, whatever. But that's a good point on the focus on like somebody who has a story that will entertain you because this is surreal. So Crockett, I love her.
Oh man,
I could listen to her talk all
yeah,
day long, right? And AOC, she'll just like, you're buzzing and she'll just straighten you out immediately.
yep, yep, yep,
I
yep. It's amazing.
like that
These
too.
are young. These are young women. You know, young women, young warriors. Compared to the Republicans who were like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Boebert and Mace, and I mean that's who the Republicans have, and we have Jasmine Crockett and AOC. You
Yeah.
know, and other people. Other people are really good too. But I feel like we're getting a big civics lesson, actually.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to lose something before you realize how precious it is, and then work to make it a more perfect union. I don't think this is the end. I think this is the end of the old ways, and I think the old ways have to go. I think the corporate Democrats got to go.
Yeah.
They got to go. Schumer got to go. Gotta go. He's a nice old guy, but he doesn't. You're like, oh, Schumer's on. Let me change the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not exciting. But when you see Jasmine or you see AOC or there's just so many Braskin. There's so many good Democrats that
Yeah.
just you know
Focus on that.
yeah.
Right.
I feel like
Right.
with Biden, we sort of limped to the end. You know what I mean? Like it was like, is he going to make it?
I don't even know. I almost feel like Biden was like screw you.
In what
There.
respect?
I
Who was he talking to?
like Biden didn't do anything. He's like, "Yep, he's in your hands now. Here you go. My
Well, I
baby's."
think he did a lot. I think he did a lot, but he did a lot that was like behind the scenes because that's how he is. I mean, he's got all that Scorpio in the 12th house. We don't know half the things he did.
I agree, but just that this was allowed to occur, and he's like, "Here's the keys. See
Yeah,
ya."
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, on a certain level, I can't blame him. I can't blame him. He's like, look, I've done everything I can. I've made your lives better. F you.
Yeah.
Leave my family alone. I don't think that's too off the beam with that.
I know that there were some things that he did to protect people from getting indicted or in trouble and pardoning the people but that all these January 6th people were pardoned. We knew that was going to happen. And that he could have done something to prevent that from happening.
This is hysterical. Zinnia says, I feel bad about Tesla owners. I keep flipping them off when I'm driving.
You too.
Yeah, yeah. My a good friend of mine, her son has a Tesla. I think it's like the $100,000 one too. I mean, the kid makes money, money fist hand over fist. I think that's the expression. Um, yeah, he's been on YouTube since he's in high school, and they've done really well for themselves.
I can't even. Well, I remember the one that blew up after the election. There was one parked on the street, and I was walking one way, and somebody else was walking another way, and both of us like crossed the street and completely made a huge radius around the same vehicle at the same time. And we looked at each other, and we were like, "Since when is that kind of car parked around here?" Right?
Yeah. Which is, it's unfortunate because who's that really going to hurt? Is it going to hurt Elon Musk? No. He's got all that other shit. He's got Starlink. He's got this. He's got that. Tesla is just like, Tesla, Smeshla. And the other people who work there.
It's a representation of our anger. It is something we could like directly hit.
Well, isn't it interesting
Right.
when Republicans are in, there's always a car we want to blow up. Like now it's Teslas, but back in the day it was Humvees. Remember when all the Humvees came up? And you'd see some guy driving a Humvee and you're like,
I see, but I always lived in the city. That wasn't something that I really saw.
I would see them on the highway. I would see them on the highway here and
yeah. And then the more that happens, then the less people want to buy it, and then their stock drops. It's like a long-term sort of thing to spit on these cars or whatever. This happened before. This was happening in the summer. People were spray painting Teslas around here, defacing them. Yeah.
One astrologist said February is the calm period before the crazy March in April. I hope he is wrong. No, he's not. And I said the same thing. Or when I was doing the Taroscopes for February, I'm like, this is the month where you just relax. It's it's the calm before the storm. That's what I said. And I was like, oh shit. What does that mean that the storm is coming? April, March is big. March is big. It's eclipse season. It's so many things are happening. The cusp of Aries and Pisces is really active. There's a lot of dissolution. There's a lot of, things are just gonna, and then of course, politically, we have to get a budget. Otherwise, they're going to close the government down. And I don't understand, like, and this is me because I'm like, I guess I'm a little bit dense. Why do billionaires need more billions of dollars? Why do they need a tax cut?
It's not, it's just, it's a level of greed I can't understand or appreciate.
I mean, do they really think that this is the smart thing to do?
I don't know how much space you can take up. I don't know how much money you can actually have. It doesn't make you okay. It doesn't make you happy. It turns you into a biblical monster. Right? I mean, really. It's just like was written in stone. Like it's better to be objective and to watch it happen, because now you're observing something that is gonna crumble.
Brienne says knitting is resistance. Yes, it is. I mean, if anybody read The Tale of Two Cities, right? Or Les Mis, or was it The Tale of Two Cities or Les Mis? The Bovary, who was knitting the names of the people they wanted to yeah. Okay, let's sound. Yeah, I watched that. AOC has a great 1.5 hour YouTube video about what's going on. That will make you sane. Yes, Steph, I did. I watched that. She always calms me down. She always calms me down. I love when she said that what's his name is stupid. He's just stupid. He thinks he's smart, but he's stupid. I'm like, you know it, girl. You know it.
Who said that? What was that?
AOC said that he was stupid, that he thinks he's smart, but he's really stupid.
Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett is in Aries. Not sure what sign. So I can tell you her chart. I have it right in my head. She's a Libra with Mars in Libra, opposite her moon in Aries. So she's a fighter. She is. She actually has an asteroid named after her because she won a science fair once, and I believe Her asteroid name is on the United States North Node or something like that, or White House is something. There's also an asteroid called White House. That's somebody I love. Is Sheldon. Sheldon Whitehouse is like one of my heroes. I freaking love him.
I don't know who he is.
He's the guy from Rhode Island who's done all the creepy billionaires. He always talks about creepy billionaires. He's
I
got
don't
white
know.
hair. I'll share. Sheldon is
Yeah.
great. Sheldon is great. Yeah. He's from Rhode Island. He's a New Englander. By Schumer. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot that need to be swept into, Elizabeth Warren's good. Yeah, you're lucky there.
Yes.
Yeah,
My senator.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of really good. Yeah, Jared Moskowitz he's great too. I don't like, well, of course, I didn't always I like all his positions on Gaza. That's another tragedy. That's another tragedy.
I haven't given that almost any focus at all, honestly, because that's another like so unknown, unpredictable. Why do I need to give that energy?
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Our governor has been good.
Oh, I
But
like her, Governor Pritzker.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I
he's been good, but there's still some things that are federally controlled that he can't do, like the funding for some of the schools, the programs for the kids that are bilingual, um, programs that we need.
mhm.
So we would be paying higher taxes eventually to cover the costs of some of these things that people don't realize are federally funded. And if those funds get cut, we can't cut these programs. We have to keep them afloat. So our taxes will go up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Pritzker, he does troll him. I know. What did we say? Oh, yeah, Lake Illinois. Is that Lake Illinois now? First side of it here. Yeah, it's been fun, like renaming every single like lake, river, ocean, and gulf. And my God,
Yeah, what are they there was another thing. They're gonna call Greenland red, white, and blue land or something. They're gonna change the
is
name.
that true? What does that
Yeah,
mean?
some Republican, because there are so many pressing issues, he put that in as a bill. They're going to call Greenland red, white, and blue land.
It's so messed up.
And I mean, it's
It's
like I don't know. Like, I'm from Jersey. I just want to go over and hit him in the head with a bat. That's like
yeah,
all these people. They're stupid enough. If they lose a few more brain cells, what's it going to matter? They're going to do the same stupid stuff.
but it's one of those goofy stories, though, that's just trying to distract you. I mean, really, how does it affect the price of eggs if we change the maps and they're only going to show up in the old way in blue states and the new way in red states, and Google's got to figure that one out. I mean, honestly, it's the name of something. Honestly, don't care. Okay, we had the Sears Tower. I don't even know what's the name of it now, and everything. All the state, everybody changes the name of everything.
Yeah. Well, we've given Dumpf a lot of names, so I guess he can call whatever he wants.
Yep.
Sheldon is amazing. Yes, Tony says Sheldon is amazing. He's so cute too. He looks so presidential. He's got the white hair, He wears like little sweaters under his suit jacket, like the New Englanders do. You have to layer because you live in an old house, right?
Yeah, man.
Does anybody believe that 50% of the America thinks he's doing a great job?
No, that's bogus. It's a pile of crap. It makes me trust any source even less. He wasn't that popular when he got there, and people like what he's doing. I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, it's garbage. You know it's garbage.
One suggestion was to have Pete Buttigieg be the spokesperson of the opposition and give daily press briefings. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I was listening to Susan Lynn. She said he should have a YouTube channel. I mean, that's how AOC is getting at. She's on whatever. She does all of it because she's young. She knows how to do it. She doesn't feel like, what do I touch now? She's not one of us. But oh God.
Yeah.
We have a good governor too. We have I don't know if she has a cat, but she is a lesbian. And I think she's married. She might be married. So she's not an unmarried cat lady. She's just a lesbian. Just a lesbian. Pete should have run for president. Yeah, I think it's Duckworth. Yeah, Duckworth is good. She's good. She's a tough cookie, man. I guess you lose your limbs. You get tough. She's probably tough before that, though.
She is pissed, and
did anyone watch that?
Never see her not pissed off now.
Hegseth kept drinking like he had a glass.
Yeah,
you know what? That wasn't water. Nobody drinks water like this.
Yeah. No, he's an alcoholic, and I can't imagine that this position that he's been thrown into is allowing him to work on his sobriety. The classic, I won't drink while I'm there, is BS. And yes, he's drinking on the job. Yes, he shows up drunk. Yes, it's reported that he's got alcohol breath. And we're just going to watch this alcoholic do what alcoholics do.
Yeah. So Lake Michigan is now Lake Illinois, but only in Chicago, I think.
Yes. Laura Henderson said he's a gin drinker. Gin is like the worst poison ever.
Yeah.
Gin is awful. It's juniper berry. Yeah.
You and me, Dr. Vicky. I'm from Jersey. Steph is from Jersey. Yeah.
Awesome.
We're tough stuff, us Jersey girls. You can take Jersey. You can take the girl out of Jersey. You can't take Jersey out of the girl. No way. No how. Remember the Jersey Shore? That stupid show I never watched. Do you know none of those people were from Jersey? They were all from like New York and other places.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
The teeny one, what was her name?
I never watched that show.
Patsy, whatever her name was. She was from Staten Island. She wasn't even from Jersey. Yeah.
I never watched that show.
Yeah, me either. I didn't watch it either. Freedom Fries. Yeah, I remember Freedom Fries. I remember when I thought the end of the world was here because George Bush was president, George W.
I know.
Right?
I know. Well, it was 9/11. You're never going to separate those two, the president and the one that, we believe allowed it to happen. That'll always go down like that. That's for sure.
Oh, everybody's saying no. I'm trying to read with. What was the question? Oh, goodness gracious!
You got a question?
No, I don't see. You want to pull a card on something, sweetie?
Yeah.
What would you like to pull cards on?
Let's pull a card on next week and see what next week.
Okay, next week it is.
The sun moving into Pisces.
Remember, we're at a crossroads. We're going to have to decide. I'm picking me. If it's a crossroads moment, I'm picking me. I'm picking my mental and emotional health over everything else. And from that place of balance, take my actions, because I think any kind of desperate action is not a good action, really.
I feel like the Pisces energy for me is more dreamy, sleepy, nappy. I don't feel like doing that kind of thing.
That's my life. That's my life. I'm very Piscean.
I don't want to do that. Let's take a nap. And that might be a good antidote. If you can. Oh, I got the Nine of Pentacles.
Ooh, that's not a bad one. That's a good one.
That is a good card. See, Gilbert said too. Come here, buddy. I'll get you more cheese if your tummy is feeling better.
Cheese tax, cheese tax. You must pay the cheese tax.
Oh, I gotta go out in the snow and get more of this crap. Because the real cheese made him have poop this gross. Yeah. You're looking at me like you don't even care.
Constance says, I believe his supporters are still willfully ignorant of facts, so they approve. Yeah, I agree. I agree they're willfully I mean, I don't do Facebook a lot, but I do go on every now and again. And if I see something that, I think is going to inform people, I'll put it up. And the same people, and I know these people because I went to school with them, the same people like will attack me every time I put something up and argue with me. I don't argue with them. But I'm like, you guys it's the deep state. I'm like, shut the fuck up about the
I
deep
think
state, will
I
you?
think we're going to see that it's going to be a little bit. There's a little bit of a nudge. I saw a comment, more than one. This is why I'm thinking this thought is. Let's see how this works itself out.
Oh, you know what I did
I've
hear?
seen a couple of those, and I'm like, okay, that's a game, right? Let's see how this works. It's before you go all left this. Let's see how this works itself out. Like sort of buying time and giving themselves a little room to wake up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's
Yeah. We'll be too busy in our bliss bubble to even care to say, I told you so. I get no satisfaction out of I told you so. None. Absolutely none. Ever.
I don't think I've ever really.
I never get satisfaction out of that. I heard that Bernie Sanders is going to be doing a tour, almost like a USO tour, on the oligarchy and the kleptocracy. He's going to go around the country and do lectures and do things. So I'm happy about that because I think he's the only person that people trust, honestly, is Bernie Sanders. He's only been saying the same thing since the Reagan administration.
Is he retiring or something? How is he going to have like time for this tour?
I don't know. I mean, he ran for president twice in his 80s, right? So
He'd still be there right now.
he works for the Senate. The Senate doesn't do shit. They just hang around and do senatorial things. Now, Patel hasn't gone through yet, right?
No, not to my knowledge. No,
Okay.
he is advanced to the Senate.
The full Senate, but we haven't heard.
Do you think he's gonna?
Yeah, I do. I do think he will. I think he will.
I do too.
I did a reading on it. What did you get that? What'd you get for
Lovers. The Lovers. I closed my eyes and picked up the deck.
Yeah, choice.
Yeah, he's in there, y'all.
Yeah, I think so. But I did do a reading on him, and it came up that even if he gets in, that it's gonna make things go faster, whatever that means. I can't imagine that.
Noted. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll make the shit
The,
looser.
the faster the shit hits the fan, and the more shit that hits the fan, the faster things are going to happen. And we only have about a year for us to get to, like, for people to wake up.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say just definitely pretend he's already there, and it just loosens up the stool a little bit. Just makes it looser. And
Just what we need. More loose stools. Well, what does the Nine of Pentacles say for you, darling? What do you think?
I like that. I like that. People maybe that are worried about money or their tax return or something like that, you'll get news that is not something you need to worry about. Your source looks okay. The source of income.
Yeah.
I like that.
I got the whistleblower card. I got the whistleblower.
Interesting.
Spy in the camp.
It might be that young kid that's working in the Treasury Department who's 19?
Oh yeah, big balls, that guy.
Absurd. Just absurd. I mean, whatever. Looks like him. Maybe the truth about him or something like that.
I don't know. We'll see.
Must new baby mama. So another woman has come out that actually voluntarily had a baby with him. Brienne, is this true? She's 26, sick, sad sick. Oh,
God. Who had a baby with who?
He's got another baby.
Who's that?
5-month-old Elon.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's populating the world, don't you know, with his brilliant sperm.
And that isn't he married? Like, isn't he on his third or fourth or something?
He has a bunch of surrogates. He just pays women to have his children.
Oh, that's so nasty.
I mean, maybe they're lucky and it's artificial insemination. That's probably the way it is, But
yeah, Carrie's vomiting on the screen. Look at her. Blah, blah, blah. It's like
sorry, ladies. We didn't mean to bring, ladies and gents. We didn't mean to bring any. No agita needed.
So yeah, the whole dynamic of it is just so bizarre and weird, and there doesn't make any sense, and it's irrelevant to me right now when I just want to feel safe, right? Be able to eat, have my Valentine's Day with the dog. I mean, it's like last week, honestly, sort of in that same place of wanting to just know that your basic needs are taken care of. You're learning more about how to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
That's where
it's probably also going to force us to be a little bit more neighborly, because we're going to need each other's help. So just one more thing before we go. Today I had a client who was 15, and she came in because she wanted to know what she was here to do, which I just think is fantastic. I'm like, at 15, I didn't know to ask that question. The fact that you're even asking the question means that the future is bright. We have a lot of really bright lights out there. And we're bright lights. And no matter how dark it gets, all the stars are going to come out. And we're going to make it through this. And whatever is on the other side of this, we're going to, if we lose a lot of stuff, we'll gain it back. But we'll gain it back in the right way and for the right reasons.
Yeah.
That's all I can say. That's how I sleep at night. And hopefully it helps you all sleep at night as well.
We'll see.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, it's so much fun to hang out with you guys. I hope we didn't, upset you too much with our talking about, the stuff. But that's the way it is. Next week on Ona's channel,
Yep.
Ona's Tarot, we will be back.
Week of
All right.
fun. We'll see what happens. And
Take
I'll
care of yourself.
morning.
Self-care, self-care, self-care. Go what, Ona? I'm sorry.
See you tomorrow morning.
Oh yes. I can't start my week unless I know what animal I'm working with.
It was a bee week. We'll see what happens next week.
Buzz buzz. All right, guys. Take care. We love you.